Hello, my name is Ilona, and now I want to share another story and continue a little bit about this kind of simulation idea. By I had these experiences where I kind of felt like um, some kind of something from somewhere outside this reality. And yes, that could be a very long story. I want to share just one story this time. But in short, a lot of people say, well, that okay, coincidences can happen. There can be coincidences. But what is coincidence? Yes, coincidences can happen, of course. I am not saying that coincidences cannot happen. But if we take any kind of coincidence which happened in our life, when and how you can prove for sure that that was coincidence? You cannot prove, of course, that it is not coincidence. It is probably is coincidence, but at the same time, that is also just an opinion. And what if it is not coincidence? I think personally, yes, coincidences happen. But sometimes some coincidences are kind of too much to really be a coincidence. There are some coincidences which I don't believe are coincidences. And that is just my opinion. And of course, as I said, nobody nobody will be able to prove me that this is definitely for sure not like is a coincidence. It's impossible. And if there are things which are impossible to prove or disapprove, we can just have some kind of ideas of what is happening. And now I can talk. I kind of feel like I can talk about this. As maybe some of you know or can hear, we have actually yes a budgie, but we had two budgies. More than a year ago, we still had two budgies, but that another budgie, unfortunately, is somewhere else now. And that really was sad time for me and for my daughter because okay, that's another story. When you have pets, you even if you don't want maybe to feel attached and you know that these pets their lifespan is not very long, but it's impossible, you still kind of feel like this pet is a part of your life, part of your family. But so what happened on the second day after he was gone? And this really is something. Actually, even if I had these thoughts about simulations before, because of a lot of things happened before, after this, I started to think about it even more. So what happened? My daughter, she is playing very often this game, The Sims, which is really ironic that this is the Sims game actually. And there is this lottery in the game, which can happen at any random time. I don't think there is a pattern. You don't know before when this lottery will happen. And it happened. And somebody with the name, with the same name which our budgie had, won the lottery in this game. And coincidence like this is it's too crazy to think about it if that this is coincidence. Okay, maybe for those who don't play this game or don't know much about this game, it can feel like nothing special, but Like, I will try to explain. First of all, if it happened at any other time, it would be still kind of funny. We would think, wow, that's interesting. That would be a coincidence. But the fact that it happened at that time when we felt so bad and we needed some kind of something, and it really changed the way how we feel. We still were sad, of course, but it somehow made us feel like that maybe this is the message from somewhere outside. Yes, and what I want to say that these lotteries happen in the game at a random time. They are rare. They do not happen often. And when somebody wins the lottery, it's usually not usual. It was always some kind of a person with a name and surname, like the person in the game with a name and surname. This was the first time when we saw that there is an animal. It's like a pet who won the lottery in this game, which is already, yes, we never had a pet, any kind of pet animal winning the lottery in the game. Not when I was playing, not when she was playing. But the fact that this is the same name and happened at that exact time, this name and this kind of positive message in the game, which is about a simulation, which is technically like a simulated reality. Only thing is the gender is wrong, but it doesn't matter, okay? Yes, I do not believe in this type of coincidences. This is not a coincidence, and nobody can prove me that it is. Because too many things had to happen simultaneously for this to happen. I mean, the timing, name, and the fact that this is not something what happens in the game often or every day. So I don't know, it feels so weird. It still feels kinda. And this makes also another interesting point, that outside this simulation or outside this where we are, somewhere there, I had this kind of like feeling that somebody is communicating with me from outside, and that would mean that outside is not necessarily something what is in any way against us or is our enemy or they are evil, but there is maybe some kind of another reason why there is this outside and why we are inside. So this is this one story. I don't know how anybody can feel about it and how weird or not weird for somebody it might feel, but for me personally, this is a really interesting thing which happened. And yes, as I said, this is not the only thing where I can kind of felt, but this is actually the most. When sometimes something happens, you might think, oh, I don't know, I am not sure. But here I have a photo, like something what is somewhat tangible, which I can see and I can show others. Well, I don't have a photo of a ghost or anything else what I experience. Other things are more like something maybe who knows? Maybe I remember something differently than it was in actually, or maybe I really saw some kind of hallucination, whatever. But this is something what I can kind of prove, and I am not the only one also who experiences this. Yeah, this is kind of the biggest clue for me personally at this point. And all other things are just adding up to this one. Yeah. Thanks for watching and goodbye.